There's typically one main bottleneck that I see plaguing leaders in the blue collar industry, and that's just poor planning. So today, I'm gonna walk through 3 simple tools that I use to plan out our entire year, and I'm gonna talk about exactly how I utilize these tools to hold my team accountable and ensure that we're all on the same page throughout the entire year. So the main tool that we use to plan out our entire year is just a full year calendar. But I'm actually gonna talk about that last, because before you map out some of the milestones and some of the goals that you have for the year on a calendar, you first need to go through steps number 1 and 2. So the first tool and the first pillar that we use is our goals. So the way that we typically do our goals is we wanna write down as many different things that we wanna accomplish for the year as possible. That list usually gets to 20, 30, 40, 50 items. We typically do a meeting right in the beginning of the year or beginning of the quarter, and we map out as many of these goals as we can. Now, from there, from that list of 30, 40, 50, we like to cut it right down to just 5 or maybe 6 pillar goals. If it's more than 5 or 6, it's usually too many for your team to keep track of. We'll take these main goals, these main big pillar goals. Could be a big revenue goal, a big profitability goal, right? Maybe a goal of improving your team, improving your retention. These are some of the things that we have mapped out for this year. And then underneath that big goal, you can have smaller touch points and smaller milestones. So if you're gonna do a goal of 10 million this year, well then you can have 5 different milestones of 2 million at a time. But you wanna just keep in mind the main big goal, and that's the big rock. We map out these top 5 or 6 first. Then we'll get into some of the sub goals after. From there, we take that main tool and then we roll out all of the different projects that are gonna come out of those goals. All of the different projects that are gonna map out to that specific objective. So if it's a revenue objective, then you're gonna have tons of projects from there, from your sales projects, your marketing projects, anything that you need to do, like a new website that's gonna contribute ultimately to that main goal. So making a website in and of itself, for us, it's not a goal, it's just a project. It can lead to the goal of increasing revenue, it can lead to the goal of increasing brand awareness, but typically our goals need to be quantifiable. It has to be something that has a number attached to it, a dollar figure, a percentage, something that can then be mapped out to a scorecard, which I'll talk about in a future video. But when you're looking at your goals and you're mapping them out to projects, typically the way that we do it is in 90-day increments. If we're gonna have projects that we're planning from now until the end of the year, that's 9 months away, there's so many things that can happen from here to then, where you're just gonna you're gonna miss the opportunity to really dial in just the specific projects that you need to happen right now to make an impact on your business over the next quarter. So, the structure that we use is we'll have our goals, we'll have our projects for the next 90 days or for the next quarter, and then every single quarter we will review that projects list to make sure that the projects that we have lined up for the next 3 months are still mapping to our main goals. So goals happen once a year, projects are gonna happen every quarter. From there, we introduce the calendar. And this is where we wanna plan out our year week by week, right? And this is where we have our weekly touch point, a weekly meeting with our team, where we review every single thing that is gonna go on the calendar. So we'll look at timelines from when we're gonna be starting our marketing ads and our marketing spend. When is this new campaign launching? When are our sales starting, right, for the season? When are our sales closing, right? We'll look at things like our events, right? So we wanna do a company retreat a couple times a year. When is that happening? How long before that event do we need to start planning for the event? Do we need to schedule the event for that event to happen, right? And any of these goals and milestones and events that we have on the calendar, it gives us an opportunity to review it week by week, and we can see, hey, we have this event happening, we have this thing happening in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks time. What is the lead time that we need in order to prepare for it? Like I said, the big bottleneck, the big issue is an event comes up, or you need to sell for your spring, but you're starting that sale when you need the projects instead of on a properly planned timeline. Same with your winter sales, same with your big projects that you want to have a push on. We want to be able to do things well in advance. We want to be able to plan things. We want to be able to organize things. And the best way to do that we found is through a full year calendar. Then this gets reviewed with a weekly meeting, a weekly touch point, and we can continue updating timelines based on where the business is performing and what the next goals and the next targets are. However, there are slots on the calendar where if we've put something, we need to now plan around that. It is not going to move. And that also allows you to prioritize and reprioritize the things that you have going on in the business. So I really love just setting this up right in the beginning of the year, mapping out the goals, mapping out the projects over the next 90 days, and putting every single thing on the calendar. Then every 90 days, we'll review the projects and we'll put the new projects on the calendar and we'll get rid of old ones. And then we'll make sure that the team is accountable to every single thing that they need to do within their specific department and when, right, which is the last piece of the projects. When are those projects getting done? When is that getting done when it comes down to a calendar? The last piece is you want to make sure that somebody in your team is responsible for the calendar. One person is responsible for keeping track, managing, and organizing the calendar. It could be you, it could be an admin, it could be an assistant, it could be a marketing person, but somebody needs to be in charge of the calendar and reminding everybody else and holding everybody else on the team on track. They are steering the ship when it comes to timelines. And assigning this one person and making sure it's their job is incredibly important. Thank you for watching. If you found value in the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. And again, I want to hear about a tool or a technique that you implement to plan out your year, set goals, because we're constantly evolving and adding new things to our toolkit and our repertoire of different things that we use to plan. And the amount of things that I've personally tried and failed at, when it comes to planning and getting organized is countless, because again, I'm not a very organized person, but you want to constantly work on it. And as far as planning out your year, planning out your goals, even if you have 2 months left out of the year or 6 months left, or you had a plan, but it totally failed and just backfired on you, you still want to continue trying to keep things in line with when you had the mental clarity to set your goals in the direction that you had and the desire that you had as far as what you wanted to create for your life moving forward. It's a constant battle to try to keep that train on the rails. Keep yourself and your business in line with the plan and the goal that you have. And it's never a perfect goal or a perfect plan where you're gonna set the direction one time and nothing's ever gonna get in the way and you're gonna be able to seamlessly follow it. No, this is about the battle to constantly keep the train moving in one direction, no matter when you start planning throughout your year and no matter what happens in between your plan. Again, thank you so much for watching. Check out one of our previous videos here and we'll see you on the next one.